Alright, so you get bed cam tonight because I'm pretty tired out after today. Uh, I'm going to do the admissions first and admit that I've done something that I haven't done in 2 years, and it's mostly because fate has conspired against me. When I was motoring myself into the Motel 6 area in order to spend the night here, I noticed I was looking for a bar kind of close by to where the Motel 6 was to grab a couple drinks to get me to sleep tonight, because it was a good deal last night when I went to Doc Holidays and grabbed a couple beers to relax after a hard day's riding. And I noticed this bar called Deja Vu that looked like an interesting place. And it turns out that that Deja Vu is the same Deja Vu that's in Honolulu, and it's the same Deja Vu that's in San Francisco, which is a strip club. So I figured, what the hell, and went in, and I actually didn't spend the normal amount of money that I would in such a place. And honestly, the strip club here in Gary, Indiana is not very good. That place was dead and not an exciting place that I would normally go into voluntarily. But they had Sierra Nevada, and Sierra Nevada was okay for tonight, so that did me. So now that the admission is done, we can get on with the rest of the trip, which starts out in northeastern Ohio, which just, in 2 words, it sucks. All the way from Erie into Cleveland on Highway 20 is one continuous town. It seems like I go transparently from one town to another, each of which has their own stoplight that's about a half mile from the previous one, and something that would have taken me, an hour on Interstate 90 took me 4 hours to go through at an average speed of about 30 miles an hour. So I spent most of this morning going through the just getting through to get to the other side of Cleveland, Ohio, and it blew big chunks. My hands hurt so badly after that, just from hours of sitting there on the bike with the clutch and the throttle, and yeah, it was just shitty. So it was a good deal when I finally got to the other side of Cleveland and figured out that Ohio is not completely an all-city driving at any point in time. I had made plans with Marvin to stop by and see him and Jana in Toledo. I called him on the other side of Cleveland and wasn't quite sure whether that was going to be something that was happening just because I was making such slow progress. But once I got into rural Ohio, it turned out to be pretty good. It seemed to be a good day. I was actually surprised at how clean Cleveland was looking. I had always imagined it to be a shithole and be a really run-down city. But coming in on Euclid Avenue seemed like they had remodeled it rather recently. They had some bus lanes in there with some hybrid buses, kind of like what Eugene did with the MX line there. And it was actually pretty cool looking. I was pretty impressed with Cleveland in general. You can contrast that with Gary, Indiana, which I was driving through some neighborhoods on Highway 20 and wondering whether I should stop at stoplights or not. It was pretty crappy in general. People not really seeming like they care about their neighborhoods a lot. It just was, in general, a bad experience coming through Gary. Hopefully, on the other side of Gary and through Chicago, it won't be all that bad, but I guess we'll find out. And if you read about me in the paper, then you'll know that things have gone completely bad. Ohio was pretty good in general. I drove through some interesting towns today. I'm trying to remember all of what was going on. I drove through apparently the birthplace of Grover Cleveland. I forgot to mention yesterday I went through some interesting places like Seneca Falls, New York, where the Seneca Falls Declaration was made, which was one of the founding documents of the women's rights movement. They had one of the biggest women's rights conventions in history there back in the 1800s. I was trying to remember where I remembered Seneca Falls from, but I really didn't click until I actually got into town and saw some of the signs for some of the women's histories museums and things like that there in upstate New York. So that was kind of interesting to at least think about some of the things that are going on there. I'm not sure if I remember, trying to remember some of the other interesting Ohio towns that I went through today. I don't remember anything off the top of my head. Of course, with everything, I'll probably remember tomorrow what's going on and what I saw that was kind of cool and got me thinking. It was just a long ride today. It was another 12-hour ride. The ride in the morning kind of extended things a little bit, and I hadn't anticipated this to be a ride that was so long. It was great to see Marvin and Jana in Toledo and have lunch with them. If Jana actually watches this or Marvin watches this, thank you again for the lunch that we had today. It was great.